I destroyed my hair, and here's how I saved it. Hi, welcome to my channel and thank you so much for clicking on this video. To be very honest, it took me around 2 years to finally sit down and talk about all the things that saved my hair. This video has been a long time coming. It's more of a conversation and a chat. There were a lot of things that went wrong with my hair, and for the longest time I had actual bald spots on my head. My hair wasn't growing beyond a certain length and I was absolutely depressed because of the way my hair was. I made a few changes to my life and they made all the difference. And here we are. My hair probably is the healthiest and the longest it's ever been. It's not perfect, but my hair's still not as bad as it used to be a few years ago. I would also like to preface this video by stating that I am not a dermatologist or a hair expert or a trichologist. I'm just someone who wants to talk about and share my journey with someone who's probably struggling. It hasn't been easy and it didn't happen overnight, for sure. I've always had like terrible hair. It may look like I'm talking about a lot of products in this video or that it's excessive, but these are genuinely the things that worked for me. So it's a very personal conversation. So whatever I'm saying, take it with a grain of salt, just narrating what has worked for me in the last 2 years. Let me start off with what went wrong, what happened that caused so much damage. So till I was 19, my hair was doing fine. I didn't love my hair, but I never had any issues with hair loss, hair fall, hair damage. And I think that has to do with youth. I'm not really sure, but my hair never needed any extra help or care. The moment I turned 24, my hair started falling. I could not understand why. I'm not genetically blessed with great hair, and I was doing nothing to remedy the problem. I would just wash my hair with any shampoo that I could find, use any random conditioner, and I would not do anything to actively take care of my hair. Let's just say by the time I was 25, my hair was completely ruined. I had actual bald spots. My ends were completely destroyed. I moved abroad and that's when everything went wrong. I started heat styling a lot more than I should have, and I was using very intense hot tools without any heat protection. It didn't look like anything was going wrong with my hair, but over time that damage began to accumulate. Maybe it was the water, the environment, I don't know. But all I could see was that slowly my hair began to fall. I became so self-conscious of my hair that I just didn't want to step out of the house. And to mitigate that damage or to hide that hair damage, I just keep using more heat without any products, and the damage kept accumulating. My hair wasn't what it used to be when it was 19, so it really couldn't survive or tolerate all that horrible stuff I was doing to it. However, in 2024, I decided enough is enough. My hair sucks. I need to do something about it because it wasn't getting any better. And that's when my hair care journey really began. That's when I started posting more content about how I was taking care of my hair. And over the last 2 years, I've noticed a huge difference. Now, I don't know if it's either one of these steps that has led to this improvement or a combination of all these steps, but that's what I'm doing in this video. I'll outline everything that I've done in the last 2 years and all the things I've done that have led to significant and noticeable improvement. These are not facts or things that I've just seen online and I'm pasting over here. Everything that I'll be mentioning in this video has contributed to something in my hair care journey and has only led to improvements. Let's start with point number one, the most important, something that I've been ignoring for years, and that is diet/nutrition. Nutritional gaps, lack of a good diet. These are some of the most significant problems that women are dealing with and we never even notice. So like I said, till I was 22, I never felt fatigued or tired or like that there was something missing. But clearly in 2025, I noticed that something's wrong. No matter how well I was taking care of my hair, I could see absolutely no hair growth. I could not see a single baby hair around my forehead, on my scalp, absolutely nothing. And that's when I knew something's wrong. That's when I decided to get my blood work done, like a blood test, to check for nutritional deficiencies. I went to a physician, they wrote down a couple of just very generic tests, and the results were astounding. I had not one but several glaring nutritional deficiencies. I honestly don't even know how I was alive till this point. I was running the risk of developing some bone disease, And I could not believe I'd been ignoring these horrible signs. My body had literally been screaming for the past few years that please look after me, take care of me, and I had ignored all those signs. That's when my doctor prescribed me some multivitamins, iron, vitamin D, vitamin B12. These are some of the most common nutritional deficiencies in women. The moment I started fixing my gaps, I could see a huge difference. A lot of people online are of the opinion that having multivitamins doesn't really help, but for me, I did notice like some hair growth, like, and this is remarkable because I could not see a single hair growing on my head in the last 4 years. This is what identified that root cause. Of course, I'm not a doctor, so take whatever I'm saying with a grain of salt. This is what worked for me. I wish I had taken this seriously like years ago. Maybe I wouldn't have had to suffer so much, but oh well, learn from me. Identifying this gap changed everything. So look for signs in your body and get your blood tests done. Also, sometimes it's just impossible to hit your nutrition goals through food. But in terms of food, I'm trying to eat better, cutting down on sugar. Somehow it's a thing. The more junk food I eat, and the more sugary stuff I consume, I can notice that my hair just does not look good. My hair feels very dry and brittle. So I'm trying to eat like good food. It's tough, trust me, it's not the easiest thing to do, but I'm being mindful because I'm not growing any younger. Once I started taking care of my hair and my health more seriously, I've started to do a couple of things that I was not focusing on. Drinking more water. I know everyone keeps repeating that blah blah blah. It sounds irritating, but it does make a difference. Now, I can't pinpoint straight away to more water intake being the cause for hair growth, but I have been doing that and I can notice a difference. So just go online, take a look at different nutritional gaps, what you can eat. For example, if iron is an issue, garden pressed seeds or spinach are good options to incorporate in your diet if you want to be all natural, consume whole foods. Also, stress, I mean, literally the last week I got to experience this again. I was going through a lot of stress. Something had happened. My hair was falling out in clumps. I'd run my fingers through my hair and I'd have strands of hair, like bunches, just falling off of my head because I was stressed. It sounds easy and it sounds irritating, but manage your stress. Learn to not get stressed out about everything. It will ruin your hair. Sometimes vanity can help you. Consuming pumpkin seeds, drinking more water, and having good food with my vitamins has helped a lot. Let's move on to point number 2, scalp health. So I have a very dry scalp, so I'm always struggling with dandruff. For the longest time, I did not know what to do about my dandruff situation. Even though I'm not a dermatologist or a trichologist, I know this much. If your hair follicles are blocked by dandruff or other gunk, your hair's not going to grow. How do you take care of your scalp? Oil and shampoo. Why was I ignoring hair oiling? I'm Indian. I should be ashamed of myself, but I just never focused on hair oiling. Now, the type of oil you use also matters. For example, this is the OGX coconut oil, so viral. You'd see it online, pick it up and apply it to your scalp, which is the wrong thing to do because it's full of silicones, heavy oils like coconut oil, and these ingredients will just end up clogging your follicles. Now, for example, I have 3 oils here. These are my most used hair oils. All of them contain oils like Bhringraj oil, amla oil, rosemary oil. But if you're looking for any other oil, try to look for ingredients that promote growth. Using the right oil helped with my dandruff, with flakiness, with dryness on my scalp. Something else for scalp health that I'd been ignoring for the longest time was scalp massages and just increasing blood flow to my scalp. The easiest scalp massage possible is to just take my fingers and move the skin on my scalp in like slow circular motions. Can you see that? Like my forehead is just moving. And I'm not using my nails. I'm using the tips of my fingers because this is like a very gentle approach. I'm just focusing on my scalp. I do this for around 2 to 3 minutes. I can even take a detangling brush and just brush my hair backwards like this for around 5 minutes. I'm being very gentle. This helps with blood flow as well and just bringing all that blood rushing to your head. Within the span of a few weeks, I could notice a difference and such a great improvement in my scalp health. And even if having a clean scalp doesn't lead to immediate hair growth, what it does is prevent hair fall. And I'm not talking about hair loss that's genetic, I'm talking about hair fall that's in your control. So I was using the right oil. What's next? using the right shampoo. This made all the difference. For the longest time, I just used whatever shampoo I could find. I would never care about the shampoo I was using. Over the course of the last 2 years, I've realized that at any given point in time, I need to have 3 shampoos in my collection. I lost some footage, but what exactly is a clarifying shampoo? It's a deep cleanser. Like, it's a heavy duty cleanser that's meant to remove buildup left behind by styling products, pollution, hard water, mineral deposits, and a whole lot of other things. Basically, it's a very intense cleaning system. Normally, I don't use shampoo on my ends, but when I'm clarifying, I use the shampoo on my entire head to get rid of any product buildup and start afresh. But I only use this shampoo maybe twice a month. I don't use it all the time because it can be very stripping. If you want to start using a clarifying shampoo, just keep in mind that don't use this in every wash because then it'll destroy your hair. But using it every 2 weeks just does the trick. My hair feels so fresh and so light, and it takes care of my scalp. Well, my favorite clarifying shampoo is the Ouai Detox shampoo. There are several great clarifying shampoos out there. Products would just build up over time, and the moment I started using a clarifying shampoo and incorporating one in my routine, my hair was full of life again. I have very dry hair that develops dandruff immediately, so the next type of shampoo that is always a must in my routine is a medicated shampoo specifically for dandruff and dandruff prevention. The one I've been using for some time is the Selsun 2.5% strength shampoo. This one has selenium sulfide and it's a topical suspension. It's something you can find at any pharmacy. This is not a fancy product. It smells fine, like it smells okay. But what really matters, it's the ingredient, which helps combat dandruff. And whenever I feel like my scalp is becoming too itchy and flaky, that's when I pull this out, especially when the weather's really dry during the winter or sometimes when it's very hot in the summer. And the third type of shampoo I have in my routine is my everyday like normal shampoo. Right now I'm using the Kérastase Genesis shampoo because I'm trying to focus on hair fall. Right? That's why I'm using this one. Can be anything depending on what your hair needs. But basically I always have 3 different shampoos. I know this sounds excessive, but for me, having these 3 shampoos in my life has really helped. Another thing with hair fall and protecting my scalp is using the right hairbrush. Please, for the love of God, don't use just about any brush and yank it through your hair. I'm also guilty of doing that. I used to be so aggressive whenever I brushed my hair. Just take my ends first, brush them, and then focus on my roots. Get the Wet n Wild detangling brush. That brush changed my life because what it does is it helps transfer the oils on your roots down to the very ends, which helps distribute those oils. And the amount of people I've seen using the wrong hairbrush and ripping their hair out because they're so aggressive. Be gentle and use any of these brushes. Like use something like this is a detangling brush, for example, or maybe like a white tooth comb or detangling brush. Get the right hairbrush. So we've talked about diet, nutrition, we've talked about the scalp. Let's go to point number 3, and that's how to protect your mids and ends. Whenever I felt like my hair quality was deteriorating, I'd just go and get a haircut. I thought that would fix the problem. The problem wasn't a haircut, but how to maintain your hair when it grows. That's when 2 products are incredibly important, and I would like to credit the blowout professor here on YouTube. He's the reason why I started using these 2 products, and they changed the game for me. Product number 1 is leave-in conditioner. So the moment you step out of the shower, I would just let my hair air dry and do nothing to it, and my hair would just end up snapping and breaking over the course of the next few days. I started using leave-ins, and this is just an example. It's from Redken. I swear to God, the difference was so profound, and that's why in every video I keep screaming, use a leave-in conditioner, it will change your life. If you have very long hair and you're struggling with maintaining that length, I started focusing on the quality of my ends, and that's when a leave-in was so helpful. There are a lot of leave-in conditioners on the market, very good ones. I try to choose a formula that will combine repair and heat protection. Product number 2 that defined the game for me was using a hair oil on my ends. This one is from Olaplex, it's the number 7 bonding oil, and combining a leave-in with a hair oil just made all the difference. Doesn't matter if your hair is straight, wavy, curly, using these two products together, that's the reason why I've been able to grow out my hair till this point. I'd also like to touch upon another very popular buzzword, and that's bond repair. My hair is virgin hair. I've never colored it or treated it or done any chemical treatment, but even I have benefited from using bond repairs. I remember when my hair was really damaged because of using hot tools without heat protection. That's when I reached for the K18 bond repair mask. You must have seen this one. It's so famous for a reason. It did reverse my heat damage. Sometimes after a long period of consistent heat styling, I reach for a K18 treatment, and it's very simple to use. Sometimes when I'm in the shower, I also like to use the L'Oreal Absolute Repair hair mask. It's also a good option for bond repair. The Dove Bond Strength hair mask is also great for bond repair. If you feel like the quality of your hair is terrible, nothing is fixing it, no leave-in, no hair oil, try to incorporate bond repair into your routine. Be careful though, don't overdo it. Say for example, I'm using this mask. It's full of protein, so I don't want to end up causing protein overload and just damaging my hair. So I've used this mask today. Now I'll wait for another 3 to 4 washes before I use this. Point number 4 is heat styling. I love heat styling my hair. My channel, you see so many blow dries all the time. I'm blow drying my hair constantly. The biggest thing you need to keep in mind is heat protection. So whenever I buy hair products, let's say this leave-in for example, or this oil, I look for products with heat protection. I will never heat style my hair if I'm not using a heat protectant. But I look at my younger self and I see videos of myself using heat on my hair, like the Revlon blow dry brush, without using any heat protection, and I hate myself. This is the one domain in hair care where I would encourage you to splurge, spend some money and buy a heat protectant that actually works, because this is the stage where you can really cause heat damage. Point number 5 is lifestyle. I really started to focus on improving my lifestyle habits, eating less junk, drinking more water, trying to exercise a lot more. I'm not saying you need to start going to the gym like today and bench pressing 50 kilos or something like that, but just I like to go outside, walk, move around a little. It's tough, but it's the only thing I do. So in conclusion, I will say that my hair care journey is a journey. I would like to focus on that word. I've learned to accept the fact that I'm not 20 and that my hair will probably never be the same. It's not going to be as thick as it used to be when I was younger. But knowing that I don't have to feel depressed and do nothing about my hair, there are definitely things that you can focus on that will improve your hair quality. There's still so much more hair that I would like to have on my head. I still deal with hair fall, and there are days when I hate the quality of my hair. One thing that I've learned to appreciate is that I will have to take some time out for my hair. My hair needs time and attention. I can't just rush out the door and take a hairbrush, yank it through my hair, and then expect my hair to be fine. I am not genetically blessed like that. So I have to be gentle with my hair. It demands patience. I have to pay attention to my hair, and that is something I've learned to kind of understand and incorporate in my lifestyle. So if you're someone who's very busy, just remember that there's only so much abuse your hair can tolerate. So be kind to your hair. There you go. That was pretty much it. I hope you enjoyed watching this video. It was really personal for me to sit down and talk about these things, because for me, hair is a bit of a sensitive point. I've always had a love-hate relationship with my hair, but over the years I've learned to appreciate my hair and accept it for what it is. If you liked watching this video, I'd be so grateful if you'd consider liking this video, like just clicking on that like button, and subscribing to my channel for more such unbiased, unsponsored and honest reviews, videos and content. And as always, I will see you very soon in the next one.